Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we're in the kitchen, and it's messy, but we're not focusing on that. We're doing beer stuff today. The little child is asleep, and the older child is occupied with a game, so we have a little bit of time here to make a starter. If you're new to brewing beer, you're going to want to learn about starters. They're going to save you time, frustration, money, but they're going to frustrate me, I think, today. This is yeast culture that is from last August, and it is now February. So I'm really pushing it. I don't think that's going to turn out, but for the purposes of making a video, I suppose I'll use it. And if it does work, we'll know, and that's one of the beauties of starters. So I just poured myself a beer. Drinking on the job, rah, rah, rah. It's kind of one of the perks of working with beer. You drink on the job. Okay, so what you'll need, sanitation. You need some Star San. There's a big bottle of it, and I already have some made up. So it's an acid-based food grade. Sanitation means you can get 6 or 8 ounce bottles of that. It's not too expensive. Very much so worth the investment, especially if you're going to start making beer. It's food grade, and it is super good to use. You dilute it down. This is obviously concentrated into a spray bottle. All you need is some momentary contact. They say 60 seconds of contact, but I've never had any issues with instant contact. So you're going to want a stir plate that's not here. It's in the basement. I'll tack it in, give you a look at it later this video. You need a flask, Pyrex. It's going to have to handle heat. DME, dry malt extract, is a very good thing to have for this. You can use worts that you've already made, but I like to use a light DME, and that makes sure you're not worried about any kind of contaminants or flavors from other beers, or you don't have to worry about dark malts or any kind of leaching of flavor or color into your new batch. So you'll need a pot, some sort of heating device, a stove, like oven top, a measuring cup, and then obviously your yeast. I use a bowl to chill with cold water, just out of the tap. Some guys use ice, but you don't really need all that. I also have yeast nutrient in the basement, but we can get started like this. First, we're gonna weigh out 2 cups of water, and I'm so fancy. I'm going to do this one-handed. I have a tap above my stove, and that gives me my filtered water that I brew with anyway. So, measure out 2 cups. It's a little under 2 cups, but that's fine. I'm going to add a little bit more anyway. I always do, to help dissolve all the sugars. So that's gonna heat. You got fire underneath, or electricity, whatever you use, and then you want to get this up to a boil, a nice gentle boil, and then you're gonna add half a cup of DME, and that should get you a starter right around 1.044, which is where I like to have my starters. It's good for cell production. It doesn't stress out your yeasts. It's not too much sugar. You're not adding anything to your beer other than yeast, really. So I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back when it's boiling. Alright, I'm back. I don't know about you. So we're nearly boiled here. Want to weigh out, measure out, I guess. We're not really weighing. Even though DME is sold by weight, I use it volumetrically. So, it sucks doing everything one-handed. There. That's about 4. So anyway, this guy's happily boiling along. Now, DME will take any kind of moisture and just turn solid, like really stupid fast. So I got a fork ready, put that DME there, and away she goes. So even the little bit of condensation that got on the glass before I poured that, it's not too happy. None too happy. So, like I said before, I put in a little bit too little water. This gives me an opportunity to put this guy back under the tap. Mind the mess, sorry about that. It's my job to clean it up, but I'm making starters and YouTube videos. So, trying to get that put together. If you don't get it all, it's not that important. It's not, this isn't life or death. It's not an exact science, at least when I do it. You're still going to get yeast culture from this. So, make sure that's good and dissolved. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have this on a gentle boil for about 10 minutes. Alright, this is all boiled up now. Been boiling away for a little while. So, now we're going to talk about this part a little bit. This is an Erlenmeyer flask. You might have learned it in science class, you might have learned it watching Breaking Bad. Who knows? Anyway, you want to take your star sand. If you notice, I already have my magnetic stir bar on the bottom of this guy. It's a little magnet in that. Or something ferrous, I'm not sure. Anyway, it works in conjunction with a magnetic stir table, which you can make yourself, or you can purchase from any kind of online retailer that sells it, or a homebrew store possibly. Anyway, you're going to want to make sure that all the walls in here are sanitized evenly. So it's hard to do with one hand. I like to lay it out like that, spill it everywhere, so everybody knows I've been in the kitchen. It's harder to do it with one hand. But the idea is make sure everything gets touched by the sanitizer. And anything you touch also gets touched by the sanitizer. It's a good idea to not only have a spray bottle, but to spray off your hands before you start doing something like this. So, you can pour out any excess sanitizer. It's just added volume. It won't hurt your starter, but I don't know, personal preference, I guess. So, turn that off. And now I'm going to make a huge mess because this is going to be a one-handed jobby. So, I placed the flask in the bowl. And I have boiling hot sugary liquid and a white kitchen floor, but I haven't cleaned it yet, so here we go. Normally I take a fork and use the water tension, surface tension against it. It helps me pour. Oh, so far so good. We're doing it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. So, at this point, we take our flask, bring it over the sink, all the way cold, and then turn the water on. Now we're just gonna let the water run over the flask as we stir it, and that'll give us a bunch of cooling right away. You gotta be careful though, because the neck, depending on how you poured it, or how conductive your vessel is going to be hot. Don't burn your hand. Not good for your hand. So, jeez, it's hard to do one hand. I'm going to take my bowl, set it up, and then I'm going to set beaker in here in a way that it's not going to roll over on me. If you notice, I've set most of my starter down below the surface of the cold water. So this is as cold as the tap goes. It's about 13 degrees Celsius here if you run it for a little while. I'm not sure if that stays like that all year round, but it should. I live in an urban neighborhood, suburban neighborhood, I guess. Alright, so I'll let that chill. I'll go get my yeast and my yeast nutrient, and then we'll be right back. So, that's cooling off still. That's sticky, I guess. Yeast nutrient. This one expired a little while ago. But, you know what? I've heard sciencey brewers say, rah, 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 use new. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm probably going to throw this starter out anyway, because this yeast is ancient. We'll see. Infrared thermometer. Get one if you're going to brew. It's not the most accurate way of measuring things. However, there's no risk of contamination whatsoever. Unless you drop it in there or something. So, through the hole, in we go. 24.5. Now, yeast can handle some temperature change. I limit it to about 5 degrees Celsius. Anything more than that, you're asking for trouble. And what you saw me just do there was not very good. You should take, especially with an infrared thermometer, give her a stir, take a few measurements. See, now I got 26.7, so it's up there. So this yeast is still cold, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's only 10.4, so we're gonna have to let the other one warm up. But while we're here, we can sprinkle a little bit of yeast nutrient in it, and that'll make it healthier. So now we're down in the brew room, and I was just cleaning a bunch of stuff, so imagine that. Clean the brew room, don't clean the kitchen. That's me, though. Oh boy. We're doing a starter video still. Yes. So, we have our wort, so to speak. I've added the yeast nutrient. You can see it on the sides of the flask there. There it is. And now this, I'm gonna have to do this one-handed. So first off, over sanitize everything. You know, sanitizer's cheap. At least where I'm from, I think that Star San you can get the 6 or 8 ounce bottle. I forget how big it is. It's like under $10, and each ounce of this stuff makes 5 gallons of sanitizer. So, you know, it cost me, I don't know how much that would cost, 50 cents, 60 cents, say, for a squirt bottle full. So, use it up. I'm gonna try doing, maybe I'll just set it like this. This is the worst idea I've ever had. Alright, hold on, I'll just open it. There, yeah, that totally worked. So, give it a smell. Ah, it smells like crap. So this is probably bad. But, I'm going to pour a little off the top here. So we have just enough liquid to suspend the yeast in. And now, I'm going to seal it back up. One-handed. And we're just going to give it a shake. Now if you get air off of there, see how that kind of fizzed like a pop? If you get CO2 buildup like that, we might not be in such bad shape after all. So, whew, just potent. Doesn't necessarily smell bad. But it's Mexican lager yeast, that one there. So I'm going to make one of those. And you can see the difference in the color. Now I've used the same method to make this. Some guys retrieve yeast slurries from their primary fermenter and just reuse the trub, which is fine. I've done that before too. It's cost effective. This way though, you're not getting any of the alpha acids or the beta acids from your hops. You're not getting any of the crystal malt flavors or anything like that in your starter. So shelf life's a little bit longer. You get a fresher starter. That's personal preference again. Alright, we got that. We got this. We got two things, and now all we have to do is put them together, and then we will be back to having one thing. 18.7. 22.4. Yes. Within 5 degrees, who cares? Alright, so this goes in there. Voila. That goes on top of there. Do one of these one-handed jobbies. Sanitize your tinfoil. And that lives on top of there, forming some sort of ceiling or roof for your new cozy home for your yeast. And the trick is to get the stir plate and the magnet lined up. There they go. Yeah. Nice and gentle. You don't need it kicking around real hard. Just enough to make sure that it maintains motion. That's plenty. Alright. Hope you learned something. Bye for now.